Hey, it's Terry Van over here. I'm not sure. It's a little lag time here. Thank you for joining me. I'm so excited about this topic. I really am passionate about helping people heal, especially before they go into the dating sphere, because that's like a whole other animal, right? You know that. So, listen, we're going to be talking about three steps or three signs, I should say, that you still need some healing that are going to show up in your dating life. So, we're going to talk about some of the ways that these signs creep up on you when you're in your dating life. So, it means you need to take more time and heal yourself, girl, because you're going to be doomed to repeat these patterns, right? And I'm going to talk about why I'm so passionate about doing the inner work before you going into the dating space. And listen, if you enjoy this video, I want you to post your takeaway in the group so I can get an understanding of what really resonated with you. And I'd love uh, to hear what were your takeaways. And I also want to invite you, if you want to dive deeply into what's showing up in your dating life, what you still need to heal, we can set up some time to chat as well. We'll set up a phone session together. So, why is it so important to deal with these issues, right? So many people mistakenly believe that their ex is the cause of their divorce, um, that oh, they just married the wrong person, and so they kind of chalk it up to that. But the truth is, we have to own our own stuff. We have to take responsibility for maybe where we didn't speak up for ourselves in the relationship or for not seeing the red flags in the beginning. And I tell you, when you take responsibility, you step out of that victim role and into empowerment, and you feel really good about yourself. You feel confident. You can trust yourself. And so it's really vital to do the inner work because so many people think it's the ex, but the truth is we play a part in that as well. And we go into the next relationship where we get married again. And I know some of you are thinking, I'll never get married again. but there's a lot of pros to being married, and all of us want to be loved and feel loved. And that companionship has such great benefits to it. But the truth is, if you've been divorced, the statistically speaking, the chance of you ending up divorced again is 70%. Let me repeat that. The chance of you getting divorced again is 70%. Been there, done that, y'all. It's the truth. Because, we bring our baggage in, and then you've got an ex who is also adding conflict, and it's another personality to deal with, and then your spouse has their own baggage which they bring in, and then you add in stepkids and your bio kids and their ex involved with it, and it's no wonder that second marriages end at the rate that they do, and there's very little support and there's very little help and tools and resources out there for step families and blended families. And so I really feel like, there needs to be more education, more help, more support so that you don't end up like that, and we say, I mean, that statistically blows my mind. And yet 40% of families are blended families. It's like a secret in our culture. I'm one of the 40%. I think most people are, but we don't talk about it. And we don't talk about the difficulties that arise in blended families. And it's really important to do the inner work on yourself because all the stress, all the additional, bullshit that comes with being in a step family. I mean, it takes a lot of work to avoid that 70% divorce rate. So let's talk about if you're in the dating atmosphere. What are some signs that, hey, girl, you are not ready to be dating yet? Okay, so let's talk about that. It's kind of an easy one. If you are talking about your ex on the first couple of dates, you have some unhealed issues. You have some emotional baggage with your ex that you have not resolved. So if you find yourself bringing up your ex or especially if you're talking negatively about your ex, you've got to do some inner work, okay? You've got to resolve those emotional issues so that you can let go of that and heal that. If you find yourself attracting the same ding dongs over and over and over, right? Or just like unqualified people, why am I attracting these same guys? Like what is it about me that I'm not seeing or that they see in me that they're gravitating towards me? So if you find that you're dating your ex over and over and over, that's a big sign. Or you're attracting like low quality guys. You're attracting the same low quality guys. Or you notice that there's a pattern, non-committal guys, or the same type of guy over and over and over. It's time to do some inner work. Okay, I see this more with men than women, but this was my issue. And actually, this was the issue that started my whole healing journey. So I actually love talking about this particular issue. If you are dating to escape loneliness, that's a big red flag that you are not ready. Okay. Now, if you were lonely while you were married and you're lonely now, that's a big red flag. Because that was my big red flag to really go on my emotional healing journey. Let me just tell you, it was when I was sitting in that basement, the strange woman's basement, all alone, crying myself to sleep, feeling lonely. I was like, oh my God, I was lonely during the marriage. I'm lonely now. It's me. I got to do this. I got to figure this out. And by knowing that the loneliness was really, really my abandonment trauma that I still had not like resolved. So by getting to the heart of that and understanding, okay, this loneliness has nothing to do with anyone else. It has to do with me. All right. Okay, I'm giving you way more than 3 signs, but these are so good though. It's so good. If you find yourself second guessing yourself, this is when actually I will say this is like the number one, like I see when people come to me, when my clients come to me, they're like, oh my God, I'm in this relationship, but I'm second guessing myself all the time. Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? So that is a big red flag. If you find yourself second guessing yourself and second guessing yourself in relationships and second guessing yourself, like in not just your intimate relationships, but especially your partners, but especially when you're dating. And if you're in a serious relationship and you're second guessing yourself, that is a big red flag that you've got to do some healing. Another one is just feeling too vulnerable to handle rejection. Okay, the thought of, you not being able to put up your boundaries. So these two kind of go together. So if you have not discerned and can clearly communicate your boundaries and uphold your boundaries, that's a red flag. But if you feel too vulnerable to handle rejection from someone else, and you feel too vulnerable to give rejection, because if you're in that dating atmosphere, you're going to have to speak up for yourself, own your own stuff, and have your boundaries and speak up for those boundaries. So if you are not able to speak up for yourself, if you're not able to discern that, and you are not able to handle someone else rejecting you, like if you feel like it will crush you if you got into a relationship and you got rejected again, you've got some inner work to do, because you have to come out of there. You have to be strong. You have to know your boundaries. And so if you haven't also read that post that I did on boundaries, I mean, it's not just in your intimate personal life, although that's where most of your issues and most of your trauma and most of your abandonment will show up in your intimate relationships. But that shit shows up like in work, with your family, sisters and moms and dads. But for me, I noticed how like before it would have shown up in business. I had boundaries, but oh well, what if they don't like me, and what if this and what if that? And I've helped a lot of clients who are in the dating sphere discern their boundaries, like clearly, clearly, clearly. If you've not done the work to know this is a boundary, this is a must, this is a non-negotiable, and this is a negotiable, right? If you've not discerned those boundaries and you can't clearly communicate those boundaries, and most importantly, if you can't uphold those boundaries. One client, and she was in the dating line and dating pool, I should say, and she had needed to reject this guy, and we had to get her to feel confident and get her to be self-assured and get her to reframe her thinking that it's actually less honorable to string someone along than it is to be honest and say, you know what, this isn't working for me. You're a great person, but it's not working for me. And that is so much more of an honor than stringing someone along for weeks and weeks thinking that you like them, and they like you and they're getting more attached to you. That's the more honorable thing to do. So that's why it's really important to do the inner work on yourself so that you can show up authentically in your relationship, so that you can communicate who you are, and so that you can honor those around you in your relationships. So I'm just going to check to see if there's any comments. I do not see the comments, but that doesn't mean they're not going on. I hate this. Like sometimes when I go live, people are just making comments away, and I'm missing all the questions and missing anything. So Candace, if you're on and you want to ding me, or if I'm missing something, do let me know. Send me a message or something. But if there's any questions you have around dating or anything you want to know, now's the time. I'm going to end here soon. I'd love to know like what's like hitting on you. What are you feeling? How's it striking you? So, okay. All right, I'm not seeing any comments. So listen, this will be up in the group. Watch the replay. Again, I'd love for you to write and tag me in a post in the group. What resonated with you? What was your takeaway from our video today? And if you want to deep dive into how your abandonment issues and how your trust issues are keeping you from creating a happy, healthy future relationship, I'd love to do a deep dive with you. I'll put the link in the comments so we can chat like one-on-one about that as well. So really excited to be here tonight, feeling better. So glad to be here tonight. All right, y'all. Let me know if you have any questions or need anything. All right, have a good weekend.